Oh my, I'm surprised that you showed up. I didn't think you would have committed to it or go through with those last steps. Quite surprising. I guess I was a little bit unprepared. Sorry for not expecting you this soon. I should have dressed better for the company. Actually, now that I think about it, I had all the time in the world to prepare. But at the same time, I never had enough time. I've been both waiting and rushing to get ready for your arrival for all eternity, up to this point in time, all lines converging as one. Then again, it all is relative for when you showed up anyways. You could be early, or you could be late, or you could be exactly on time. Who am I to say? Time isn't as easy as you may think. Oh, habits of my riddles, it seems. Sorry for being so confusing and cryptic. It was fun to see your face trying to wrap your head around what I said, though. Guess I shouldn't dwell too long on this type of topic. I will be here forever with a pile of bones. I'm sure I'd yak on for millions of your lifespans. Such a grandiose way of talking I have. No wonder people get confused. Oh, I jest. You are safe here. I froze your time so you would not age while around me. No need to worry about such small issues as that. I would recommend we do spend not too long here, though. I still need you to live out the time that has been gifted to you. I would not be so cruel to take too much time and allow you to lose the blessing of growing amongst your current generation. Before you check your handheld watch, clockwork works a bit weird here. I'm well aware personally. All around me are clocks of every sort. Don't worry about all the ticking in the background as well. It is quite normal for this realm. I hope it is not too annoying to you. With this many clocks, it's only expected the ticking would go on. If I were to stop every clock here, not only would it take a while, but it would be quite taxing on me physically. I hope you enjoy the ambiance. I'm sure I gotten used to it myself. Then again, I am always here, so who am I to say? Nonetheless, you are very much appreciated to show up here. I know it has been a very long time since you have seen me. Whether you have seen my face now, later, or for years to come, I appreciate you coming into this realm with me. Thank you. I am very proud of this dedication. I hope that you find my appearance worthwhile. You are the first person I have seen in quite a long while. It is a joyous day that needs to be celebrated. I may do my best to give you a gift when you go back safely. I hope it will be worthwhile to you. The gift in question is not something to dwell over for this moment, for it is not the future we are here for. I'm certain the present moment is what you requested. Unless you wish to change your deal to future predictions or deals. Ah, very well. Sorry for always taking you so seriously. Seems to be an old ingrained habit into me. So, on to more pressing matters. I'm sorry for the spells needing to come here being taxing on yourself in the skin you inhabit. I was watching you on the later steps, and I could definitely see the effort and passion you put into them. I'm quite flattered at your insistence and determination. Never would I think someone would go to such lengths just to see little old me. does give me a little bit of a confidence boost. I'm sure if you had somebody doing the same steps just to see and know about yourself, it would be not only flattering, wouldn't you think? Well, it is only natural for me to be curious about your intentions at this point. May I ask more about that? Wonderful. What was your request of me exactly? Did you want to stay young forever? Did you want to make time your oyster, stopping and repeating your most precious moments? Or did you have something more sinister planned? Let's think. Something like using time as a weapon and trapping your foes in loops of their worst memories. Gosh, so many possibilities. I can only imagine what you wanted me for. So exciting to finally have a change of narrative here. All this endless ticking does sure get boring. None of those. Interesting. Do color me impressed. I would think you would have something like those ideas, but I will do my best to accommodate what you wanted. I obviously can't do stuff out of my own power, like make you invisible or anything else not doing with time. It's out of my pay grade. So, let me get this straight. Not only did you use half of your lifespan and all the other rituals needed to even know of me, and all the steps required to even come to this realm alone, but you mean to tell me it's only for the sake of going on a date with me? Don't mind my shock. I just never have heard of such request. I don't know if I should be shocked, flattered, concerned, impressed, or upset by this. I've never been so flabbergasted by something so simple. Apologies for being a bit taken aback. I have no idea how exactly to reply to this. I guess going along with it might be the only option I have at this time, due to how much you have already done. I don't want your commitment to go to waste for me being unable to fulfill your simple request. Right then. If you deem what you have done worth this, then I shall provide you my half of the deal. It is only fair, after all. So then, let us go on a date. That is, if I can remember what a date is after all these years. Better to try than to not. I will try my best to think of a good idea of said date. What would be a good first step? Before we get started, it would be great if you choose the location of said date. It's to set the scene accordingly. But if you don't choose, we can just stay here. Well, in this realm, you can choose whatever you would like for the background. I know your kind enjoys simple things like walks, clubs, food, visual media, or interactive media. Dates have a wide array of times needed for such, so I will put around 20 to 30 minutes on the clock of my undivided attention. As a test run of this deal, it would be equivalent to about a small coffee date your kind would have back in your realm, if I remember right. Everybody back there has coffee dates, correct? I'm not too out of touch. I would sure hope not. I mean, coffee dates still exist, I hope, because they're still coffee stores, so I would assume some people would go on dates there, right? Yes, okay. Wonderful. I'm very glad that I'm not too behind. Oh, a test run. Well, a test run is to make sure that not only myself can act accordingly, it also ensures that you get what you want out of this deal. Just to make sure that with all the effort and time you put into getting here, you can get what you deserve. I wouldn't want you to feel that I didn't get you what you wanted. It would be impolite for me to do so. Your time that you've wanted has been running ever since you came into this realm. So, how about we start this date and don't waste the precious seconds that you have committed to this realm? I know it is customary on the first date to ask questions. If I remember right, first dates are usually to get to know the other person better, depending on the circumstances. So I think for this circumstance, it would make sense if we ask those types of questions, unless if I'm going about this wrong. Okay, to keep it simple, we'll do that first. Is there anything that you would like to ask me? You want me to ask you first? Okay, let's see. What type of questions are good? Since you are here and I have your time, I might as well ask your name or however you would prefer to me to refer you as. It is only polite to do so. Since just calling you by human or disciple or anything like that is a bit insensitive and dehumanizing. I'm not rude like the other deities in that regard. So, what is your name? That name has a ring to it. From what I remember, it definitely has an interesting meaning. Thank you for telling me. My own name is Evermore, for your realm's language. It is also an interesting meaning. I obviously cannot tell you every name that I have, since it would be hard to quantify. So just Evermore is fine for the moment. Or deity of time if you really want to be respectful and accurate of me. Though that respect is not necessary. This isn't a job interview. Your turn then to ask a personal question. Look at you. Right to the chase with the pressing questions. Already wondering about my powers. I would think someone who is researching and summoning me would know well that information by this point. Oh, I'm only playing with you. I understand that sometimes it can be unreliable to tell until you ask the source itself. I will have your ear and tell you more about that then. My powers are actually quite simple. I keep everything consistent to every place I inhabit. Some places call the flow of passing different to your own. For convenience sake, I hold and control the flow of time. Doesn't make much sense if I just say that's the case, so let me give you an example. You know how, in your younger years, it feels like time is at such a slog every single day and month of the year? Then when time moves forward, it feels like you have less and less of it until you grow up. Then it feels like months pass within the time it takes to take a step back and breathe. I help control that. I know it is not fair to make time always go forward, but it is how it has to be. You commit and sell the idea of your own time and energy to receive monetary benefits. Then you use those to provide yourself with the basic needs you need in order to survive. I personally have no control over what anyone does with their own time, but I do not agree with how it has evolved. I would prefer that everybody had those needs in the first place and you could use that time for something that matters to yourself, but I cannot interfere. But one thing I guess is a positive. I do see you, how you are as a person, and have used your time. I see your pain. I see the nights of stress, the weeks of being numb. But I also see your joy, your birthdays, your tears. So much time has passed, hasn't it? You have grown so much, so many assignments, so many late nights. You've worked a lot, haven't you? Been pushing yourself so hard every day, every second. I can tell every fiber of your being is begging for a break. I am sorry that in order to provide for yourself, you have to spend so much time doing things you do not enjoy. I can only imagine how much that can wear you down. Just know that it's okay to put yourself first. You can stop. You can take a break. I'm proud of you. You don't hear it enough. I'm really proud of all that you have accomplished in your life. Even though you keep saying you can do more and you haven't done much, you have done a lot more than you realize. You have got this far. You've been able to see the leaves change color and the time pass around you. Every breath is a blessing. You should do well to remember that. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to sound creepy. I just see how everyone uses time. Not only yourself, but every being in the universe. But just as you were getting curiouser about me and did all of the rituals, my interest in you also grew. So with time, I've grown to hone in to your life and the time you've spent on it. Only natural at that point, I would know some things about you. You have invested a lot into this, just like you have invested a lot into other aspects of your life. It's quite endearing. I like that about you. I can recall a lot of events from your own life on how you've spent your time that I've gave you. It has been a blessing and my joy watching you grow up and blossom. Oh, yes, I do give everyone time. I cannot control what happens in that time, but everyone has the same amount of time predetermined to them. It can be cut short, or if they are lucky, they can live longer than the time I gave. It always pains me to see when others take time away from each other. That isn't what I intended. I sadly cannot control events like death, for that is not my place. I give everyone across the realms the time they need to live any type of life they want to lead. I'm not in control of what happens after the being is born. I really do wish I could. I must say, I see a lot of preventable pain. I hope you can sympathize and not blame me for the bad events in your life. It was not in my control. The purpose of your existence? My dear, I cannot tell you that, for even I don't know. The most I can muster is that you and everyone has a purpose. What is it? I don't know. Even I have no idea why I exist and control such things. The most I can say your purpose is to live a life that you find the most fulfilling. Use your time wisely, from what your people say. I'm sorry, I cannot give you closure on that question. I really do wish I could. Like a lot of mysteries of life, sometimes not everything is answered. If you knew everything, why would you want to use the time? The mystery is a part of the reason we keep going, and a part of reason why we keep looking both ways before crossing the street. What it all means and where we go is irrelevant at the end of the day, as long as you and everyone else have a happy and fulfilling life. That's all I could want. All right. Now, before you open your mouth and before you continue about my powers or any other life questions, I thought this was a date. If I remember right, people on your planet don't usually talk about such things on their dates. Let us get back to the subject at hand, since that was the deal you wanted, not to question myself and existence as a whole. Unless you want to change your deal for just information alone, which I'm more than happy to do for you, if that's what you intended. I jest again. You need to catch up, silly. I'm not serious all the time. So then, back to a date. What type of drink do you usually like? I know that your species has a wide variety. Oh, that makes sense. You always took time to get that beverage. Thank you for answering. For myself, if I'm completely honest, I love teas and coffees. Teas help me relax and calm down, and coffees help me wake up. It can be a little bit of a gamble if you do both in quick succession, though. Can be a bit of a race against the clock to see which one kicks in first. Since you like that drink, maybe I could use some of my time to make it for you. It's the least I could do, after all. Oh, are you sure it's not necessary? Oh, right. You don't get thirsty here. I forget that I paused your time. Well, I guess if you ever see me again, I'll have that drink ready next time. I'm sorry for not knowing sooner. Well, I guess since that point is out of the way, I could try to think of another subject to talk about. What is normal conversation topics? Let me think. Oh, so, how are you feeling today? I can only imagine you might be a little bit overwhelmed to see me, or relieved that you're finally here. It's all right. I'm sorry I didn't notice you sooner. Sometimes my clock goes too fast for me. Feels like all life is speeding right by me. Only when I step back and slow down was I able to open my eyes. That, and it can be very difficult to concentrate on only one being when there are so many people's times to keep track of in the world. Don't even get me started on the universe. It can be very, very stressful sometimes. I do recommend that you get some time when you go back, like relaxing, that is. Life always moves forward and goes on. Sometimes time off can really help you realize what is needed to help your life be more fulfilling to your own self. That, and if you're constantly stressed and not giving yourself breaks, You aren't taking care of the most important organ of all, the brain. Taking some time just to lay down sounds like just what you need. Remember, your worth isn't determined by what you do. Sometimes taking well-deserved time for yourself is the most worthwhile work you can do for yourself. Ah, thank you. Sorry. Old age seems to make me prone to drone on and on. I can't help but want to give advice here and there. It's old habits. Thank you for telling me that I was getting off track. I'll get back on the date then. What type of snack foods do you like? I think that's a good topic to mention. Maybe I could also get the snack foods for you when you come back. That might be a decent idea. Like a drink and a snack, I would be unsure. Sorry, I'm making this awkward. What snack food do you like? I guess that does make sense. I do see you grabbing that a lot of those before going to the movies.